Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On today's video, we're going to be talking about Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Leon Edwards has stated that he wants to finish Carlos Prates. Now, obviously, him saying this, we know both men are thinking that in their heads that they want to be able to finish each other during this fight, because whoever wins this fight, especially for Carlos Prates, this is like another opportunity to see if he can fight someone at the highest level of ranking, and maybe possibly see if he could fight for gold next. Maybe after, I say, 2 more fights, if he's able to win this one. I'm going to keep it a bean with y'all. I hate when casuals come on here and be like, oh, Carlos Prates got this fight, he's going to win. No, I'm just going to keep it a bean. When it comes down to it, Leon Edwards is way more well-rounded than Carlos Prates is. Now, Carlos Prates is a good fighter, but I feel like this is going to be a part 2 of Carlos Prates versus Ian Gary, but Leon Edwards being a better version of Ian Gary. Will I say, do I think that Carlos Prates has a chance of being able to get a knockout? There's a possibility. You never know. At the end of the day, it's a fight. Anything could happen. But I feel like with his style and just seeing him fight, he fights better against shorter opponents. So people who are my height, 5'11" and shorter, like his last opponent, for an example, we've all seen that fight, how that fight card went. Now he's actually fighting someone who is closer to his height and way more well-rounded. And like I've already said in the beginning of this video, I don't think Carlos Prates really has the tools and abilities to be able to beat Leon Edwards. And I feel like Leon Edwards can definitely take this fight to a decision. Now, I want to explain where it comes to where these fighters are better than at each other. When it comes to striking, I'm giving it to Leon Edwards because he is more well-rounded. But when it comes to shot selection too, I'm definitely going to give it to Leon. When it comes to devastating power, though, like KO power, I'm definitely going to give it to Carlos Prates because Carlos Prates actually has some power in his hands. And Leon Edwards, I'm not saying he punched, like he can't knock nobody out. But as far as what I've seen, I've never seen him really knock someone out cold outside of like with that kick with Kamaru Usman. To be honest, to this day, I don't care if anybody says I'm salty. That was a lucky kick. I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. I'm playing. That was not a lucky kick. If you actually watched the fight and you seen what his coaches were talking about, they seen exactly what they seen during the fight. But at the end of the day, though, to keep it a bean, I feel like a lot of people do overrate Leon Edwards, like back then, during that time period when he was champion. Now, I feel like with all the fights that he's had, with him losing and everything, now he's actually properly rated. But I feel like for this fight specifically, in this time period current right now, 2025, I feel like he's underrated for this fight. Just because of the fact that Carlos Prates and the fighting nerds and a lot of people are still some bit on the hype. Not 100%, because we all have already seen what exactly been happening to him. A lot of them have been losing. All of them lost, actually. All of them have lost their last couple fights. And that hype train has been getting a little bit killed. Well, I definitely say it's still there. There's no diss or no hate towards the fighting nerds. They're actually a very good team. And I genuinely think they're going to be fighting in the UFC for a very long time. A very, very long time. I don't see any of them really getting dropped. I feel like they're all going to be like, Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier, where they'll be in the rankings, they'll be at the top 10, but they won't be champions. And even then, now that I think about it, the only person, we just seen him lose his last fight, I say Gene Silva. And even then, the only reason why I'm saying maybe is because, in my personal opinion, as far as what I can see and tell, Carlos Prates will not become champion. Rufi's not becoming champion. Caio is definitely not becoming champion in that weight class anytime soon. But I can definitely say Caio maybe in the next couple years if Khamzat decides to leave. If Khamzat doesn't leave, no, it's not happening anytime soon. Even then, when I say with Gene Silva, I'm only saying maybe if Volk ends up not fighting anymore and we have somebody else who's champion, maybe he could fight somebody in the top 10 and win. Let's just say the top 5 and maybe get a title shot. But even then, it's very, very low. Like, I'm talking about we're going to have to give these dudes like a year or two, and whoever is the current champion during that time period. But let's go back to talking about this fight. I've already explained who's the better striker, who has more power, and who has more tools. Now, when it comes to tool-wise, I will say I'm going to give it to Leon Edwards because I feel like he has more kick. He uses more kicks, and he uses a lot more striking than Carlos Prates does. And Carlos Prates is more of a Muay Thai striker. He loves throwing them knees and them spinning elbows. He loves throwing those. While Leon Edwards, he's more of a basic type of guy. He likes to stick to the fundamentals. Throw his 1-2, throw a low kick, high kick, mixing it up, moving around. He never stays in one position. That's another reason why I was saying I feel like that this fight, I don't think we're going to really see a finish because both of these men, specifically Leon Edwards, he's a stick and move king. Like that's exactly what we know him for /as what he does. And for Carlos Prates, he's more of a type of guy who likes to stalk his opponent down and break him down slowly, maturely, with different shots and get him to a point where he can either knock him out or TKO them, one or the other. But that's where I feel like both of these men stand at when it comes to striking. Now, the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the grappling department. When it comes down to this, there's not even really much that I even need to say. Leon Edwards is the better grappler. We've seen him against Kamaru Usman, Kobe Covington, seen him against Sean Brady, and Belal Muhammad. That's about 4 really great wrestlers /grapplers that are in the welterweight division. We've seen how he manhandled Kobe Covington and how he was stuffing all of Kamaru Usman's takedowns. So I don't see this fight really getting on the ground. I don't see these both men trying to do that, to be honest. I feel like it's going to be a real stand-up fight. He's going to keep it stand-up. And then I don't think Carlos Prates has the grappling, or anyone in the Fighting Nerds has the grappling to be just going for takedowns. Outside of Kyle was the only one that I could say that actually shoots for takedowns. Really, for all of them, they all have great, really wrestling defense. I'll say decent wrestling defense. Carlos Prates, I'll say he's okay. He's not bad. But his grappling is definitely not going to be coming in during this fight. Like I already said, this fight's going to be straight stand-up. But if it was grappling-wise, like I already said, giving it to Leon Edwards. Great takedown defense. Good at takedowns to himself. And I feel like he would put Carlos Prates in a world of trouble if he did mix it up. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Leon Edwards should, in my personal opinion, all fighters should mix it up. But that's not how the game goes. And this is how fighters do what they do. But yeah, at the end of the day, my final pick for this fight, I'm giving it to Leon Edwards. I'm not going to sit here and choose like the casuals and be like, oh, I'm going to go for Carlos Prates because the Fighting Nerds in the hype train that they've been on. No, hype train does not translate into fighting ability. Especially me as a boxer who actually tries to do research on this stuff. Matter of fact, I'm actually watching a video on Mighty Mouse doing a review. JDM, will JDM beat Islam? JDM versus Belal Muhammad, when they have fought. I'm watching that right now. And yeah, so I feel like a lot of y'all do love my videos because I come in, I tell the truth, I tell exactly what I know. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'll admit it too. I'll never sit here and be like, oh, I'm going to choose this fighter only because of their religion or race. No, I choose based on who has the better fighting abilities, who has the better fight IQ, and who has, their skill-wise, they have better skills in the grappling department, maybe the striking department. Maybe that fighter's going to be able to knock out that one. Anyways, enough of me rambling. I've already told y'all my pick for this fight for UFC 322. This is going to be a very, very great card. I honestly cannot wait for this card, for real, for real. Matter of fact, I was actually trying to see myself if I could go home, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'm probably just going to stay here and watch it. I really wish this fight card could have happened on Thanksgiving. I'm not even going to lie. Thanksgiving weekend, that would have been way more lit, in my personal opinion. But it is what it is. I can't really decide when these fights are going to happen. I don't own the UFC. I'm just here to just give my takes and how I feel about who or which fighter is going to do what. If y'all enjoyed this video, Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends, family, whoever. My content is pretty good. I like my content myself. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I love y'all. Keep showing me love, and I'm keep showing y'all love. Peace.